All right. Hello, everyone. Seeing some people join in the Zoom, which is great. Give it a couple more seconds here and then we'll get started. All right. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, everyone. Really happy to have you on this webinar today. We're super excited about it. I'm Fred Egler. I'm the product lead for Premium. I'm joined by Sam Drackett today. He's our senior product manager in Premium as well. We're really excited to give you a walkthrough of some key tools that we've launched recently, some new features we've launched recently as well. And then, we'll spend most of the time after we've kind of walked through those new features, answering your questions. So we'll take some time, a good bit of time at the end to do an open Q&A, and we'll go through based on your questions and demo some things in the product as well. So super excited about that. Before we get started, do have some housekeeping items to just read a disclosure. So past performance is no guarantee of future results. Any views or opinions expressed in the webinar do not reflect those of Seeking Alpha as a whole. Any content and tools on the platform are offered for information purposes only. Seeking Alpha Portfolio is a tool for tracking news and analysis and does not constitute a brokerage account or enable any trading activity. Seeking Alpha does not take into account of your objectives or your financial situation and does not offer any personalized investment advice. Seeking Alpha is not a licensed securities dealer, broker, U.S. investment advisor, or investment bank. Great. And with that, like I said, we're going to do a kind of a live walkthrough of some new tools and features that we've launched. Give you, a first look at some of these features before we go into Q&A. So with that, I'll kick it over to Sam Drackett, who will do some walkthroughs of some pretty cool and exciting new features.
Cool. Thanks, Fred.
Yep.
And yep, hello everyone. My name is Sam Drackett. As Fred mentioned, I'm a senior product manager for Seeking Alpha. I want to cover two specific areas today. So that'll be a walkthrough of the portfolios at a high level, and then also look at some of the new advanced charting tools that you can find on the symbol page. And after that, as Fred mentioned, we can also open up for questions as well. So I'm going to share my screen, and then Fred, maybe let me know when you're able to see it.
Yep, we got it.
Cool. So yeah, we'll cover a few different things from the portfolio at a high level, how to use it, how to set up certain features within that, and then like I said at the end, if we have additional questions, we can also deep dive on that as well. So what we have here is an example portfolio that's been set up. So we'll go through the process of maybe creating a new one, and then we can also deep dive a little bit on this existing one as well. So to create a new portfolio, you can do it from the left nav here, where you go to the Create Portfolio button. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. You could do this process manually, where you select specific symbols to add to that portfolio, or you can link a brokerage. So if we click the link broker here, this will bring up some fairly popular ones, but you can also look for any specific brokerages that you might have by clicking Other. And for example, we have a variety of different ones. It'll guide you through the whole process. Fairly simple. It uses Plaid to connect it securely, and Seeking Alpha doesn't have access to that information. It just links them through an encrypted server. You can also, if you like, load in a CSV file. So just to be aware, that's a way to do that as well. You can load in symbols from an Excel file. But if we create a portfolio manually, we can add in a couple different symbols. And it'll prompt you to add shares as well. You can also do this later from the portfolio holdings if you like. So let's just say one of each. And now our portfolio is set up. But if we switch to an example of maybe a more developed one, so here we have a portfolio that has multiple different symbols and specific lots for holdings. So I want to highlight a few different specific features here. So you can edit your portfolio with this button from the toolbar, where you can reorder specific symbols, you can remove them from the portfolio. You can also add additional symbols from the button here as well. And one of the most powerful features here is also the ability to set up custom views. So for example, we've provided a few different tabs that'll highlight specific areas that you might be interested in. So you could go to ratings, which will pull all of the Seeking Alpha ratings, such as Quant, Seeking Alpha, and Analyst score, as well as Wall Street. But if you're interested in customizing this, you can go to Add and Edit Views. So here you'll see the full list of all the columns that are available for all of the symbols in your portfolio. So for example, we have the ratings that we looked at. You can look at different holdings and maybe dividends as the last example. So if I'm interested in a few of these specifically, we can add these and you'll see that it's populated a new view at the top here. And if we do that and apply it to this portfolio, we've now noticed that we've created a custom view. So if there's specific things that you're interested in, this is a really great way to do that. And if you want to come back later and edit it, you can click Add Edit Views, go to the Edit Views tab, and then if you look for the specific one that we've created here at the bottom, you can edit that view or delete it as well. So that's a really powerful way to customize for the things that you want to see. And one really interesting thing that I think is worth highlighting here as well, if we go to dividends, there's also a new feature that has been added fairly recently, which is an aggregated set of metrics specifically for dividends. So these are specific things that we feel would be valuable for dividend-focused investors that have been aggregated at the portfolio level. So for example, estimated annual income is being contributed to from 6 different symbols in this portfolio. And you can get a quick snapshot of how your portfolio looks specifically for dividends. So that's something we're really excited about as well. Um, and then one other thing that's maybe worth highlighting here is also you can download your portfolio to a CSV file if you want to take it offline and do your own analysis. And maybe one last feature before we jump into charting is if you go to the health score tab, this is also a really great way to look at the health of your portfolio from the perspective of ratings. So for example, if you're interested in how balanced is my portfolio across the quant ratings, you can use this to look at, for example, the average rating that I have here is 3.42, which is about neutral or a hold. So maybe that's something that can help you think about the breakdown of your portfolio from that perspective. But we also have dividend safety score as well and a few others. So we'll switch gears here and jump quickly into charting.
Yeah,
So I'm
awesome stuff,
gonna,
Sam. One thing I wanted
yeah,
to mention for everyone else too before you jump into charting, thank you. If anyone has questions they want us to answer, we'll take them at the end, but feel free to put them in the chat now and we can get to them at the end. But just wanted to call out, we'll be answering questions. If anyone has them, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to them. Thanks. Proceed, Sam.
absolutely. So I'll jump to a different tab here. I have Apple pulled up. So if we go to the symbol page and focus specifically on the chart here. So right now we're in the basic charting, but you might have noticed recently if you click advanced, we've overhauled the entire UI for advanced charting, which is primarily for technical analysis. So a lot of interesting stuff here and a couple notable changes that we've made. So we'll do a walkthrough of the toolbar. I'm just going to refresh this. If we do a walkthrough of the toolbar, there's a couple different features here. Right now we're in a candlestick graph, but we can change that to a variety of different ones, such as line graph. We could do mountain. There's a lot of customization here that you can do. And then also we can change the interval type. So within the time range that we've selected, let's say 6 months, this will also customize the time interval within that time range. You also have the ability to create custom views, which is really useful if you want to save settings for a specific chart. Let's say you prefer a specific type of graph and then specific indicators and things like that. You can quickly save those into custom views and then reference or apply them later on different symbols. And I mentioned technical analysis. So here, if you click indicators, you have a whole list of all the different popular types of technical analysis and charting tools. So you can search from the list. But if you go to most popular, you'll notice specific ones like MACD or moving averages. So let's apply those. And from here, I'm going to make this full screen. From here, you can see now we have MACD at the bottom, and you can click on plots if you want to delete that. And you can also right click edit settings to customize the values that are being used for that MACD calculation. And we've also added one moving average here as well. So if you wanted to do like a short term and a long term moving average, you could apply both of those. Exit out of here. So what we would do is now we have two of them, and we'd edit one of them to be a longer period, and then maybe we change the color. And so very quickly, we're able to pull in all the different important indicators that we would need to do this type of technical analysis. A couple other things to call out in the settings. You can also toggle the log scale if you want to smooth over certain things such as dividends, and you can control that from the settings as well. And one particular feature that I think people might miss is also in the top right corner. You can also switch the y-axis to percentage change or net change. And this in particular is a feature that I think we're in the near future going to move into the settings menu to make that a little easier to find, but that's a powerful one to know about as well. A couple other things here. If you want to add an additional indicator, that symbol on the top left, we can apply an additional stock for comparison. So this is very valuable and worth noting as well. You can also do a similar type of feature in the charting tab on the far right of any symbol page. But the difference here is this particular window is for technical analysis. Worth noting as well, also, Dan from our team has done a longer version of a breakdown of this advanced charting tool. So we're going to put the link to that webinar in as well, but that's about a half hour where we really deep dive and spotlight more of these features. So that's probably it for now, but maybe I'll pass it back to Fred and we can also start looking through the chat and see if we have any additional questions here as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff with the portfolio feature. Really awesome stuff with the charting, advanced charting feature as well. And more to come on those enhancements. So we'll be making enhancements to charting, making enhancements to portfolios and portfolio notes. So super excited about those. Definitely will take some time now. We've got about half the time left to answer questions that have been coming through. So I'll go ahead and take a look at one of these here, which is show us what can be done with the Analyze with AI button. So let me go ahead and share my screen and do that really quickly. Perfect. So the Analyze with AI button is taking us to our virtual analyst report, and it's available on the symbol page. If you click, let's say, I did a recent search of some tickers here. ASM, you'll see on the symbol page this Analyze with AI button comes up. And when you click on it, you basically are taken into our virtual analyst report, which is a really valuable, succinct kind of like one pager using our quant system. So the ratings from our quant system, from our factor grades, as well as analysis from Seeking Alpha analysts themselves, and comes up with a really valuable, succinct one pager to give you the information that you need to know about a stock or in a very specific and succinct way. I think the big benefit or differentiator of this is we use AI in the ecosystem of Seeking Alpha. So we're not taking this from any other sources across the internet. This is specific to our quant system as well as our Seeking Alpha analysts. So we give you the company description. A big benefit here, I think, is the competitors and unique value. So it provides some interesting value propositions and competitors and links out to those symbol pages as well. Gives you an explanation of the ratings and the grades for a stock that you're looking at, which is super, super valuable in that sense. And then as you scroll down, kind of shows you the positives and negatives raised by Seeking Alpha analysts and links out to those as well. And you can actually, find out more investing groups about this ticker You can even, if you're interested, go at the bottom here and basically print this information, print at the very top. You can copy this and send it to other people. You can actually gift it as well. So if you're interested in sharing this info with someone else that you know who might be interested in the stock, you can send that out to them, which is super helpful. And so it's just a really good way to get a snapshot outside of the large ecosystem we have on the symbol page, get a snapshot of information related to this stock using Seeking Alpha's quant system and Seeking Alpha analyst analysis and AI as well. So another question we're getting in here is how do I access analyst ratings of a stock? So instead of going from the symbol page, I'll maybe go to the home page and look at some homepage cards. You can see we've got a trending videos card. We've got a tech and communications latest quant ratings card. So maybe I'll take a stock from this card here and go to maybe, RBRK, take a look at that one. And you can see on the right here, we've got a rating summary for this stock. So our quant system has it as a strong buy, and SA analysts have it as just a buy. So you can click on this right here, or you can go from summary to the ratings tab and then toggle to SA analyst ratings and that'll give you a viewpoint of this specific stock and what it's been rated over time. You've got kind of a history of the rating over time. You can see it's mostly been a buy for the most part, and then it goes to a hold, and then goes back to a buy pretty recently. And you can see a list of the analysts who actually rated this as well, which is quite interesting. If you're interested in learning more about those analysts, you can click on their link in the profile and you can follow them as well. So that's a good way to kind of get into analysts and see their ratings. If you click on the analysis tab, you can see all the different ratings or all the different analysis of that analyst and what they actually rated each one of these stocks. If you click into ratings history, you can kind of see a graph of how they performed. If we kind of go maybe back a little bit further, um, let's see, something like this, you'll be able to see a little bit more data. And so that is, something that we find very, very valuable to see kind of the history of an analyst. Another way that you can see the history of analysts and maybe follow interesting or valuable or top analysts would be to go to this kind of page that's accessible for premium users. I'm just going to tab over to it over here called Top Analysts to Follow. And this is a helpful page because this basically shows the kind of top analysts based on their performance over a period of time in the last year based on their actual pick. So this is a good way if you're interested in finding analysts with a good amount of credibility. You can come to this page. You can see what their average return was. You can hit follow very easily. You can see their latest coverage. Check out a bit of a bio about each one of these analysts and see which one of these you might be interested in following. That's just a good way to get info from trusted or credible analysts. Um, okay, then another one in here is how do I look at upgrades and downgrades for my portfolio? So let's take a look at that. I'm going to jump into a portfolio. I'm going to go into my growth portfolio. Um, And once I do that, you can see all the tabs that Sam went through at the top of the page. You can also create custom views as Sam did. You can also remove tabs in here or add tabs as well. So if you click on Add Edit Views, this is the page where you can add a custom view based on custom data that you're interested in finding. If you click on Edit Views next to Add New View, you'll actually see a place where you can hide or show various tabs. And what you can do is basically click, hide view. That'll hide the health score tab. You can show it. You can hide the holdings tab. You can hide the dividends tab. And then you can see right here, there's an upgrades and downgrades tab that's hidden. You can click show, and then that'll be shown. And you can click done. And basically what you'll see is it'll take you to this. If I click on upgrades, downgrades, it'll show you the upgrades and downgrades based on the specific type of rating for the stocks or ETFs in your portfolio. So you can see this ticker had an SA analyst upgrade to strong buy. This ticker had a downgrade from strong buy to buy. And this is a great way to be able to go in and basically see what's happening in your portfolio if certain stocks were upgraded, if certain stocks were downgraded, and a great way to be able to find those on a regular basis.
Yeah, and Fred, just a quick build off of this one. Someone had also asked, there are buy, hold, sell suggestions. Are these
Mhm.
suggestions as if that was the only holding you had, or are these taken holistically with consideration to your whole portfolio? So the health score tab is aggregating an average for your portfolio, but that's just an average, right? So each of these ratings are specific to a symbol. So you have the quant rating, which is ranking in a sector. So, for example, how strong is that stock within its own sector? You have the aggregate of what Wall Street analysts think, and then also seeking alpha analysts. So all of these, like I said, are specific to an individual security, but here in this tab, they're averaged for your portfolio. And you also have to have a minimum of five for this to appear.
Yep. Yep. Important to note. Yeah, I think it's good to highlight that. So thank you very much. And then let me see what else is in here. One of the questions in here, can I produce a monthly schedule of interest and dividends for the next year? That's a great question. We tried to endeavor to start to show something relatively interesting related to dividends on this dividends tab by using the key dividend metrics ribbon here. So we have things like, as Sam went through, the estimated annual income. So that's for the year. It's not based on monthly or anything like that. But you can also see then there's a kind of a frequency column that you can add into your portfolio as well, which is available in the dividends tab that shows you how often dividends are being paid out. So quarterly, quarterly, monthly, quarterly, and shows you the estimated annual income there. So there's not a specific monthly schedule of interest, but that's a good piece of feedback. And you can see here kind of a kickstart into showing you how much you could expect to make from your portfolio with the estimated annual income over there on the left. And yeah, I think Sam, you put it in the chat, so thanks for doing that. But there's a who to follow specific page for those analysts. So if I go to seekingalpha.com/slash who to follow, and then I can click into this top category, and it shows you a list of those as well based on their average return, like I mentioned before. Okay, perfect. And then there's a question in here about the home page. So when you log into Seeking Alpha, seekingalpha.com would be taken to this homepage. And this is basically going to show you, markets for the day, latest news, trending analysis and trending news, as well as homepage cards that you can customize based on what you're interested in. So these are kind of like bite-sized pieces of value that take you either somewhere else into the product or give you kind of a snapshot or summary info of information that you find valuable. So I mentioned this trending videos one. This webinar will be recorded and put on this trending videos card soon after this is complete. But we have other webinars and quick premium how-to videos in this trending videos homepage card as well. There's other cards like the tech and communications, latest quant ratings, portfolio movers and related articles. So this shows you the biggest movers in all your portfolios and articles related to them. And there's many more. If you click right here below trending analysis and trending news on customize my topics, you'll see all these different categories that we have to pick from. And there's basically over 50 homepage cards that you can choose from if you're interested in them. You can just basically check them as modules here and you'll click done. And those will then show up on your homepage. And so every time you come back here, you'll be able to see those kind of bite-sized pieces of value on the homepage card. So that's kind of a place that you can come every day and just see some smaller kind of bite-sized pieces of information and go further into the rest of the site. Like for this analysis for you card, if you click latest analysis, it takes you into our analysis landing page, which shows you summaries of different analysis articles. And you can actually even hide those summaries and just scroll more quickly through them, and maybe click on an article you're interested in and go down and read that article. And so I think Sam just answered the last question in the chat. So if we don't have any other questions, as we said at the beginning, we will send out this recording within a few days after this, and you'll get an email notification about it, and it'll be posted to our video hub online as well, which you can check out, like I mentioned, um, on that homepage card in the trending videos homepage card. So we'll be doing these on a regular basis, so feel free to hop back into one in the future when you get an email about these. If anyone has any questions, concerns, feedback, please email subscriptions@seekingalpha.com. And we look to do one of these in the future again. And Sam, thanks so much for joining me. Really appreciate the walkthrough.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you.